Inc. Here's the current progress on mods to the 8008. This is a new LED readout board. You might notice that I've used different colored LEDs for the different registers. The condition codes, the address registers are high and low address bits, which are amber, I guess you'd call that. And the data at whichever memory location we're at are the blue lights, and then output port 0 are green. And it works pretty well. It does the job, and you might be able to tell there are legends in there, which makes it a little easier to figure out which lights are doing which. Although they could be a little bigger, maybe I'll do that in a subsequent version, but right now it's good enough for me. And I'm using to run it, I'm using my modifications to the Arduino. And you can tell here that I've been using that to load the programs and from a SD card that I've interfaced to the Arduino, so that makes it a lot easier than with the old switch panel. And there's the new memory card, current version that will run with a 4K block. This guy right here, I got another one over here that I tested with and that's exposed. So you can see that. This is the 4K card, sorry about that. That's 4K card. And here's the 32K card, a lot fewer ICs. The one in the center there is the 61256. So that's got 32K memory on it. With the 32 individual ICs here, we've got 4K. And of course the 1K board takes 32 1101s to get us 1K, so that's a big improvement. And I'm going to make a mod to this board, probably order them next week. I should be getting my 7475s pretty soon. That's a 4-input NOR gate. And I use that to do the selection of either the 4K board as the lower static memory portion or the 1K board, which is what most guys will have. They shouldn't have to build a 4K board just to get the static memory to use on the 32K board. So that's in the works. And I've got these little boards, don't have them on there right now, that I put on the output display boards. I modified that display board for 7 ports, all 7, output port 0, and then 1 through 7. So I've got a total of 8. And you might remember that the original board only had 4 ports on it. So it took 2 of those in order to get the full complement of outputs. And now we've got the full complement on one board. I can plug this in, and it'll give me the information of what's on that output port with these LEDs. And I made 10 of those. Actually, I ordered 10 of them because you get them 5 at a crack, so I ordered 10 of them, and I've used, I think, 8 of them to experiment and play with here. For the power supply, I'm using this PC power supply. I've modified that a bit. Taking the 12-volt line here and run it through a regulator to give me the minus 9 volts. And I modified the motherboard to provide an LED, one for plus 5 volts, one for minus 9 volts. So it gives me an instant indication of whether I'm getting power to the board or not. And I made a few Rube Goldberg kind of connectors there for the power supply. And there's the little Arduino. I think it's a Mega. I needed all the ports. An Arduino Mega to run the switchboard a lot faster than I can flip switches. And there's the added SD card I/O machine, so I store my programs and other information on that I can quickly load into the computer. Makes that 32K board accessible, 2 16K chunks, since the computer will only address 16K. Right now I've got this one set on the second 16K for the test. The first block tested out okay, so now I'm running it through the test on the second block. And you can see it's cycling through memory, shifting a byte all the way from 1 out to 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, storing it in memory, comparing it back to see that it was stored okay, and then on to the next byte. So each iteration there, it's going through the full 16K. Over here are some of the boards that I have that I've been experimenting with. You can see I've been I've asked quite a pile of them, and there's the original motherboard that I got from you, and here's the original 8008 that I built back in '74. I started it when I was working on a project in Connecticut. I started it out there. When I came to move to Omaha, then I packed her up, brought her with me, and I finished it here. It took about a year to get all the parts together for that. In those days, remember, we had to scan through the backs of radio electronics and popular electronics and whatever hobby magazines we could find to find these parts. Much easier today with a few clicks on the internet, that's for sure. And here's some more boards. This, I think, is what do we got here? 4K. That's a 4K version there. And this one, which is partially completed, is another 4K board. And it takes 4 of those to get to the full 16K. A lot of power, as you mentioned in one of your emails one other time, to run just the memory. And right now, just that one little IC runs the whole show. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. So we'll keep plugging away here, and if we make improvements and changes, why, I'll send the Gerbers off to you, unless we can figure out a way to get the schematics themselves circulated. At any rate, we'll do the best we can. And on to the next project.